Hello everyone, welcome to another segment of Abalandeli Belanga, Ungala, Umlandeli Welanga, the one and only Nga who has vowed to teach you how to be faithful followers of the sun. If you've been wondering what does the word or the name Nga mean, Nga is light, Ilanga, or luminance. In this session, I want to introduce us into the season of the Sagittarian man. The Sagittarian man who's half man on top and half horse at the bottom. And of course, to see these asterisms from the southern hemisphere, we look in the evening. You cannot see these asterisms in the morning at sunrise because they do not correlate for us in the south. And so to further understand these mythologies that touch so many aspects of our lives, from mythology to language to the alphabet, the numbering systems, we would have to see these asterisms in the evening and then align them to the season that we are in. And so this evening, if you look east, you will see the Scorpion rising. Shortly after that, you will see the Sagittarian man rising, yielding a bow and arrow in hand. In this folklore now, we are at the time when the time of war, the time of when horses and men in battle regalia march to war. This is the time when kingdoms fall. This is the time when the walls of kingdoms fall. This is the time of we are approaching the coldest part of our year. We are approaching the winter solstice, of whom some among us who are now calling it the African Christmas, of which if to go by star observation, or what we see in the evenings with the stars or in the mornings, there would be a misnomer to call it the African Christmas, because the term Christmas, astrologically speaking now, it means the crossing of Mars. Cross Mars, Christmas, or the exaltation of Mars. Mars exalts, I think, from the 21st or the 25th of December. That is what that is about. That is why Santa wears the color red. That's the red planet, the fiery red planet. And so it cannot be an African version of Christmas. Another reason for this would be at that time of year, in the winter solstice, around the 21st, the planet that is in exaltation in the southern hemisphere at that time, it is not Mars. It is Umkhulu Khulwane, Jupiter. And so we cannot call it that. The devil lies in the details. If abantu abamnyama folk keep parroting information without actually getting into it and understanding what is meant by these things, we are forever going to be doing this, what we're doing now, chasing our own tails, following things we don't really understand. And so yes, we are firmly in the season of Sagittarius. It is cold. You can see the bow and archer with arrow in hand having his turn with us now, persecuting the sun, and in turn we also suffer for the 5 months. The Scorpion stings us. Sagittarius shoots his arrows. Then the Capricorn goat to Zahareli will finish us off at the winter solstice. That is the great tribulation that is approaching, of which the Bible says none will be saved if they are not shortened. The appearing of the two running horsemen, Sagittarius will appear in that direction, and then the centaur, Centauri, he appears from that direction. The appearing of these two now plunges us into the coldest and darkest parts of our winter. I hear a lot of people are complaining they cannot see the sun. Some people are used to sun gazing. Both these asterisms have weapon in hand. This is the time of the great suffering. Izintshutshiso. Sagittarius has a bow and arrow facing it towards the star Antares, the heart of the Scorpion. And the centaur has the wolf lupus on a spike, like that, skewered like a sacrificial lamb, headed for the slaughter. around that constellation is the heavenly altar, the constellation Ara. This is where these mythologies come from. Ara is the altar where Abraham is supposedly going to sacrifice. It is all based on star law. So yes, you will right here. Let me see. Yes, just about there. That whole area there up there tonight. That is where you will see the centaur skewering the wolf lupus. We are in the time of umhlabelo or umhlatshelo. We are in the time yohlatshwayo, sikabulawayo, kuyabhujwa right now. That is where we actually are. Baba Mutwa tells us about lizard beings, the Chitauri, the skimmers who have supposedly hijacked humanity's ascension process. We are told of all the evil that they've done, of which I say apparently, because I think most of this is folklore. But anyway, it's interesting to note that the word Chitahuri and the word Centauri looks pretty much the same, and I'd actually like to believe it's the same word. Let's break it down. The word Centauri or Centaurus comes from two words, the word cento or kentio and tauri. Cento or kentio or kentao is from the Indo-European root kent, meaning to prick or to jab or to goad, pricking, ukjogoja. A goad is a sharp-pointed stick used to drive cows. It comes from the Proto-Indo-European root gay or J. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but yeah, that's how it looks, meaning to propel, to prick, from the Germanic gaido, meaning a spear. This is, by the way, where we also find the Hebrew word lamed, that that staff, yes, the spear, the gaido in the German language. We also have it as gads or like that, a rod or a staff. If you look at it, the word looks quite similar to the word that we have in Ngesintu, MaGWaZa, meaning to poke, and then we have igazi, meaning blood. In the Arabic language, we are Ghazi, like that, is a title given to Muslim warriors or soldiers who fight against non-Muslims, the spillers of Ghazi. I don't think it's a coincidence that these words look so similar, and they both have to do with prodding, which probably leads to blood loss. And then we have the word Tauri, which means bull. So this word roughly translates to bull herders, because in the mythologies of the north, that is what these centaurs or these minotaurs were known for. Again, now the Sigma star Nunki in Sagittarius is identified with Enki, Nunki, meaning of Enki, of whom is said to be the god of war, the god of water, according to Sumerian mythology. In the Egyptian hieroglyph, now we find that that which pertains to Sagittarius, the 9th constellation, lines up with the 9th letter, which is actually water. Let's get into it. Baba Mutwa also tells us that the Chitahuri, they had these bull-like horns, these bull-like crowns, Enki is called the lord of the Yabzu. Now, I understand a lot of us understand this to mean the Lord of the South, meaning South Africa. But no, let's get into this allegory. The Abzu, the dark, watery lands which are where? Which are down south. In these mythologies, the land down south begins at the Scorpion. Remember in the previous video, I said the Scorpion, that is where we enter the underworld, and ends at the feet at Pisces. The imagery and symbols pertaining to these signs has to do with water. In one way or another, it doesn't change. Scorpio is a water sign. The hieroglyph symbolizing or correlating with Sagittarius in the Egyptian language, like I just said, is a symbol of water. Capricorn or Zahareli is called the sea goat. Water again, the oceans. The symbol for Aquarius, it's water. And then we have Pisces or the Piscean fish, again, water. Baba Mutra also speaks of water beings, and the Nomo or the Numu, who come from a water planet called Kiridau or Sirius. Now the story, when he narrates the story, he says where their ship landed now, the place filled up with water. Then the Nomo or the Numu got out of the ship and started playing around with the water there in the area pertaining to water. In the Lord's Prayer, we are dealing with for thine is the kingdom. Sagittarius has to do with building kingdoms because it pertains to the higher mind. Remember, as we were coming down with these constellations, we started at the head and we said, Our Father who art in heaven. Then we got to Libra. That is the midpoint. Then we entered the underworld with Scorpio. So we started here. Remember there's this saying which says, there's this axiom which says man is the measure of the universe. So we put Aries here. When we get to Libra, we go up again. As we're going down with the feet, the knees, the thighs and everything, we go up again. So we are back here. We are dealing now with the higher mind. Sagittarius rules the region around the hips, the glutes muscles, and the thighs, along with the liver. Remember the story of Jacob when he wrestles with an angel. Where does the angel touch? At the thigh, the hollow of the thigh. So we can actually say we are at that place of that wrestling. Among the Jews, Jacob says to his son Joseph, his bow abode in strength. That's where we are. It's the tribal symbol of Ephraim and Manasseh. I will leave it there for now. This is the introduction. So yeah, man, please also look out for us on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Check it out. It's here in our, they call it the bio or the info link or whatever you want to call it. But yes, please check that out. And yeah, please look out for more of these lectures coming from Umlandeli Welanga. Hello everyone, welcome to another segment of Balandeli Belanga. It's your host here, Umlandeli Welanga, the one true faithful follower of the Sun, the Ngao who has vowed to teach you how to be followers of the Sun. We are in the time Yabo Hlatshwayo. We are in the time Yabo MaGWaZa. We are headed for that frightening day, that commemoration of June 16, the slaughter of 1976. The day our children met the fierce, militant police, brutal force of the apartheid regime. The day they met the energy of the time. That is that aspect we are in. The militias, the wars, like I said in the previous videos. This is the time when kingdoms fall. Is it not funny that the marching calls for president to step down, they are getting louder and louder now? Did we not just have the stay away? When was it, on Friday or Thursday? Where people actually got in the streets and they said, enough with this fuel price. Is that not where we are? So yes, we will be remembering the day our youth, we will be remembering, those who were shot and killed. The ones who fell with the winter sun of 1976 to rise no more. So this is the lesson on Sagittarius part 2. Now Sagittarius is the 9th house, the coil or the ball of yarn, the Greek tether, the symbol of death. Tet in Hebrew, the water hieroglyph. This is the house the ancients referred to as the house of the higher mind. In Zulu, we have the word ukukhalipha. a term we use to denote sharpness of mind, the house of higher caliber mind, abakhaliphi, the Khalifa, the Caliphates. The year of Sagittarius is a symbol for shooting for far-off goals. A sound mind is a must when it comes to setting out goals and milestones in one's life for the future. Sagittarius speaks to the coordination between the mind and the beast, or the temple and the houses of Israel, aspects of ourselves. The quiver of Sagittarius can never get far or hit the mark if the rider, the mind, and the horse or the body are not in harmony, or if the horse nature controls the rider. In this condition, the fiery element of Sagittarius is a heat element, by the way. This leads to bouts of overexcitement, and eventually we burn out. We burn out without having or being able to dedicate or concentrate our efforts towards one point, towards one sharp point, if I can put it like that. In the symbols of the ancient Egyptians, in the Dendera zodiac, the galloping archer Sagittarius is depicted as a man with the face of a lion at the back and the face of a man. This is now the fire aspect of Sekhmet, the goddess of war. We just talked about fire now, or ukwenza izinto ngomlilo. Kuthiwa sithi ngesiZulu umlilo wamaphepha. She is, or tumult. She is the goddess of war, the protector of the kingdom. In Christian mythology, we say, "For thine is the kingdom." That's where we are in the Lord's Prayer. Sekhmet is the destroyer of the sun's enemies, always associated with Ptah or Umkhulukhulwane. Why? Because Jupiter or Ptah rules Sagittarius, so you're always going to find them together in the mythologies. The face of the lion represents the fierceness and the fact that Sagittarius is in trine with Leo the lion, the fire, signifying that the higher mind or intuition is unable to manifest if the lion, the fire, or the horse, or the beast is not at rest. You cannot ride a wild horse forever. According to Watkins, Sagittarius is the German Schutz or Shorts, the Anglo-Saxon Scythia, if I can put it like that, the Scythians, from the Indo-European root skeet, meaning to shoot, chase away, or the row. Here in South Africa, we have an independent writer and filmmaker and social justice activist, uGogo Gillian Schuheit. Now, she is the embodiment of her ancestral name, the Shooters or the Arrow. She is a founding member of Media for Justice and co-producer at Handheld Films. Please do check out her work and you'll understand why I am actually saying she fits perfectly her ancestral name, or that she is the representation of her ancestral name. On the Dendera stone again, under the feet of the galloping horse, there's a symbol there that actually looks like a snake. I know some of you guys will look at it and say it looks like a boat, but I'm happy going with a snake because one of the deacons of Sagittarius is the constellation Draco, that dragon of old, the serpent which is mentioned in Revelation 12 verse 1. But what is a deacon? Before we get too far, let me explain. Each house or constellation has conjoined with it, either on the north or the south of the zodiacal belt, 3 constellations or deacons, from the Semitic root word dek, meaning part, piece, or faces in Arabic. Each month is under the care of 3 deacons, or directors. In total, there are 36 of them, superintending 10 days to each month. Each sign of the zodiac is divided into 3 equal parts of 10 degrees, or 10-degree divisions, or faces rather, meaning each month is under the care of 3 deacons or directors. This is where we get the foundation now of what we have in church, those guys who wear those white gloves and they tend to the congregation or the month. That is where it actually comes from. So again, before I get too far, we must remember that the symbols of astrology have given, or the symbols that are used in astrology have given mankind astrotheology. Then astrotheology was watered down into Christian theology and dogma and everything else that we have around us. It is all based on what was captured by our ancestors in the stars. The other 2 deacons that we have with Sagittarius is the altar ara, meaning a place of sacrifice. Like I said before, this is where Abraham, or the story of Abraham sacrificing Isaac, blah, blah, blah. That is it. The other constellation that we have is Lyra, the harp. Little David, play on your harp. Hallelujah. You know, we can go on forever. Baba, black sheep, Mary had a little lamb. It's astrology, guys. That is where these stories are captured. That is where the essence of these stories actually comes from. We are there. Little David, play on your harp. Our mythologies come from the stars. Our gods come from the stars. We come from the stars. Do we not say we are stardust? Are we not stardust, rather? The brightest star in Lyra is Vega, meaning the conqueror shall be exalted. Vega will be the pole star in the next 12,000 years. I don't know how many of you guys are aware of this, but the pole star shifts every 12,000 years. Currently, the pole star is in the tail of Ursa Minor, Polaris, the little bear, Ursa Minor. Prior to this now, the pole star was the serpent, the constellation Draco, the dragon of old, until he was dethroned by Polaris. Now, in our allegories and Bibles, in our Bible more specifically in Genesis, this is allegorized as the war in heaven. The loss of his position as chief star is the dragon being kicked out of heaven. He lost his primacy, if I can put it like that. In demonology, there is a demon called Beuer. This is where it gets interesting now. He is depicted as either in the shape of the Sagittarian man or a lion-faced creature with 5 goat legs. I don't understand what the 5 goat legs symbolize, but yeah, that's how they depict him. 5 goat legs surrounding his body. It is said he appears when the sun is where? In Sagittarius, and he teaches natural and moral philosophy, logic, and the virtues of all plants and herbs. And pretty much like Sekhmet or Imhotep, he is capable of healing any infirmity, if not all infirmities. I will get into Imhotep and that connection shortly. In the Old Testament, we have the story of Jacob wrestling with an angel, where at Peniel, or the pineal, the higher mind, we are told in an effort to disarm Jacob, the angel touched the socket of his hip. Now, why are they so specific with this imagery? Let's get into it. The word hip is derived from the Latin root hippo, which means horse, siash. And as above, so below, as within, so without. In the human brain, the temple, we have the hippocampus. Hippo again meaning horse, and Campos or Campos meaning sea monster, named after its resemblance to the seahorse. The hippocampus is a major component of the brain, belonging to what is called the limbic system, the cortical region that regulates motion, emotions, learning, and memory. It is also thought to play an important role in spatial processing and navigation. Yes, we have a GPS system in our brains. Dr. George Washington Carey says it's a curved, elongated eminence of gray matter extending throughout the floor of the descending horn of the lateral ventricle. The semi-fluid cerebral spinal substance thereof is called the ocean of thought, or the sea of glass, or the crystalline sea, as seen by John the Revelator in his visions. We are here. Is it not interesting that in African spirituality now, when one talks of water snakes, water guardians, what we call abomninimanzi, inkanyamba, the description fits the mythical hippocampus of Greek mythology, which is part horse and part snakefish, believed to be the adult form of the fish called the seahorse. There are Greek paintings from antiquity depicting sea gods or sea guardians riding these creatures. Like here, we have Poseidon, or the planet Neptune. His chariot is being drawn by 3 or 4 of these creatures. Now, for us in Ngesintu, it's a bit different and a bit tricky because these creatures are held in high esteem. They are not for ukugitshela, but I have once received a dream interpretation, however, suggesting that the underground gang wanted to ride in Kanyamba, like can be seen in that image, Neptune. Never got into what it means. Ngesintu now, if one sees or dreams of these creatures, it means they have been called into the healing sciences. Legend tells us that such individuals, they will disappear into a manzini. They will vanish for months or even years on end without anyone knowing where they are. And somehow these worlds are accessed through some system of water portals. I don't know how it works. Now when they return as masters of the healing arts, as if they had learned it from Imhotep himself. The hippocampus is also called Ammon or Amen's horn because of the 2 hippocampi that bend around like the horns of a ram. Another legend which is close to the word hippo is that of the father of medicine according to Greek mythology, Hippocrates, who is believed to be a direct descendant of Asclepius, the god of medicine. Now the word medicine is derived from the word medio or medicus, meaning to heal or cure. And his father is Apollo, who is who? Jupiter. And even older legend now of the father of medicine is Imhotep. I'm going to break some hearts now. Imhotep, the polymath, who was deified as the god of science, wisdom, architecture, and medicine. Like most folklores, his life is full of mystery, pretty much like Hippocrates. He is deified as a guide for mortals seeking the path to Ptah. Sekhmet is associated with Ptah. Imhotep, we are told his father is Ptah. Who is Ptah? Ptah is Jupiter. Or who? Umkhulu Khulwane. Imhotep and Hippocrates are somehow both connected to who? To Jupiter. Hippocrates is a descendant of Asclepius, who is fathered by Jupiter or Ptah. They are both considered the fathers of medicine. Now, I understand many of us believe the Greeks whitewashed Imhotep into Hippocrates. Many of us, we regurgitate this with so much and anger and they took it. But guys, both these characters are myth. Scriptures are myth. If it reads like a fairy tale, then there's a very high chance that it's what? It's a fairy tale. If it says that his father is a planet, then trust you me, you are reading what? You are reading a fairy tale. These are not historical characters. They are symbols of the higher mind, perfectly attuned to the giver of good gifts. Umkhulu khulwane. Umkhulu womkhulu. uNkulunkulu. In the book Cell Salts of Salvation, we find this quote. Du Bois says, since Leo is placed in trine to Sagittarius, it signifies that the higher mind or intuition is unable to manifest until the lion has become quiescent. For only thus is it capable of being the support of the footstool of Jove. What does this mean? The fiery aspect of Sekhmet has to become quiescent for the mind to be capable of being the support of the footstool of Jove, Jupiter. You gotta get your mind right. You gotta have that empire state of mind, like Alicia Keys and Jay-Z gave us. That's all I have for today, and on the next one, I will be getting into the mind, how to heal the mind, how to heal trauma. I will bring in Jerome. I'll ask Jerome. Jerome, I'll ask you to help me with the next one for techniques on how to get the mind and the body to be quiet. Thank you, guys.